Hi guys, welcome back to another episode, and today's topic, we're starting it off with combination skin. We want to see what actually combination skin means for someone like Rowena who has dry skin.
And what something means like for you who naturally has oily acne-prone skin. Because I think especially with the changing of seasons and our skincare routine from winter to spring to summer, and then it's getting hotter, and then you're getting oilier and dewier, and it's so humid outside.
Like, what does that even
mean? My skincare, I'm like, what is my skin?
Yeah, and then another thing we personally realized is as we got older, our skin became more combination. But like, think of it on a spectrum, right? So she's on like the dry spectrum here, and then I'm on the oily spectrum. And then as we age, we come closer to each other.
And today we partnered with Paula's Choice to share with you guys our combo skin routines. You guys know this is a brand we love and I've talked about for years now. So we wanted to share some new products that we've been trying that we have not talked about, just to keep things a little more exciting.
If you've watched our latest videos, you would have seen a lot of the staple mentions, but we're sprinkling some new additions and how it really plays into balancing and kind of evening out combination skin. So if you haven't subscribed, this is Beauty Within, where we talk about all things skincare, wellness, and beauty to find out. Beauty Within. So what does combination look like and feel like and mean to your skin?
I, at one point, convinced myself that, oh, my skin is normalizing. It's not as dry as it used to be. But what I realized after I went to get a facial was that my skin is so dry that it's overproducing oils to recorrect the dryness. So what that looks like for me is mostly in the T-zone. I think like my forehead is okay. It's mostly here.
It's actually your nose.
Yeah, it's just my nose.
Yeah, your
and
nose
like this
is
area.
full dewy sometimes. It's like, hello. So I like contoured her nose one time, and she's like, oh, looks in the mirror, I look like Squidward.
I look like Squidward, because I'm not used to nose contour.
Anyway, that had nothing to do with the dewiness of your nose, but I just remember that.
So these past couple of months, I've been trying some BHA products, and then the Azelaic Acid that we'll talk about in a little bit. But mostly for me, it's like, it's so dry that it's combo.
And then, is it the same throughout the year? Like, summer, fall, winter, is it just kind of the same areas?
I think winter, it's definitely drier, and then it's not as oily.
Okay, so for my oily skin, it's the opposite, right? I'll find that during certain times, it will get drier, and it's in the U zone. So like, what you have on the nose is literally what I have all over, normally. Yeah.
On like your cheeks and everything too.
Yeah, uniformly. And then, as it gets colder, or sometimes when I'm not hydrating enough, I'll get really flaky around the chin and jawline, and then it will start breaking out. And then that's when I know dehydrated combination skin. So, okay, we have different steps. So currently it's summer, so we're sharing with you guys our current kind of summer routine. Yeah, because I feel like that's one of the times that has the most fluctuations. So let's first start with cleansing. Okay, so what's your cleanser?
I have the Unscrub from Paula's Choice. Have you tried this?
I have.
Oh my. Oh my.
It's truly unique for a scrub.
There's a reason why it's called the Unscrub, because it's not like your typical scrubs that you think of when you think of like St. Ives.
Yeah, like abrasive or shells or like coarse. Yeah.
So the base consistency of this is super creamy and velvety.
Yeah.
There's jojoba esters in there that are like little white balls.
They look like tapioca pearls.
Yeah, but like super nano-sized.
Yeah.
That bursts. You can't really feel it bursting, but it just
can't.
disappears as you work it into your skin.
Yes! Oh my God, that was the most confusing thing. Because I put it on, right? And they're quite like medium size. I don't know, they're a little bit larger than you would expect, but very soft because they're like all rounded. And then as you work it in, you're like, wait a second, where did they all go?
What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
And I would say yes, because it is like a sphere, you don't feel any harshness or resistance or like, you know, things you would with like a enzyme powder or like an actual scrub.
Dude, that's
because there's no sharp edges.
And those little jojoba esters are actually biodegradable and they melt into the skin to then give you the jojoba kind of nourishment.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what this is? It's like a globe. It's like a snow globe.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the one I'm using is the Soothing Micellar Cleansing Foaming Gel.
First off, that looks beautiful. I remember we talked about this maybe a year or two ago.
Yes.
And the packaging is just beautiful.
So, yes, packaging really gets you. It makes you want to wash your face.
It looks like a grapefruit and like spring.
Yes. Perfect.
Which is two of her favorite things.
Yes. I love micellar waters in general just to like, you know, take away the excess oils, excess sebum in the morning without really over stripping, because with oily skin, what you don't want to do is over cleanse, because that's when you start like getting really dry and then it over corrects itself by producing more and then you're just in like this big hot mess, right? Yeah, but what micellar water does is it's very interesting because it's all science, people. It's like a little zigzag and then there's a water attracting end and there's an oil attracting end, and they basically work together like this, and then as it kind of goes across your skin, it's like a magnet. It attracts like the oils and the dirt and all that and really cleans it up without much like force whatsoever, right? It's like, imagine if I was just like this with a magnet collecting like stuff off your face. That's essentially how micellar waters work.
Does it take off makeup as well as a micellar water?
It does take off makeup. If I'm wearing waterproof what do you call it? Mascara? You're my little butterfly. Waterproof's always really hot.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
With
really,
any cleanser.
with any cleanser, I wouldn't expect a cleanser to be able to take that away. So I use the cleansing balm or cleansing oil for that, and this is just an everyday cleanse. Would you say cleansing makes a big difference with balancing your combo skin?
Well, I think it's a very important step, but then it's not as important as some other steps.
Okay, so tell us the important. Is it in the form of a toner?
It could be.
Okay, moving on.
Maybe, maybe not. We talked about this recently, so I won't go too much into it. This is from Make. It's their Micro Ferment Rice Essence. So Make as a brand, I just think it's very fascinating. They focus a lot on lab-engineered natural ingredients. So if you want to think of sustainability, I think this is like full sustainability, where the ingredients are grown in a lab. So if you think of like the Kakadu plum shortage in Australia, that is one way the natural resources are being stripped, because there's just a huge demand now for the Kakadu plum. But if you engineer something in a lab and you get the ingredient from there, then that really takes off like a lot of carbon footprint and everything. But then just the thing about me, I like things in their natural form. So I don't fully know how I feel about lab grown stuff. It's like, is that still the same?
Does it carry the energy and essence of the
what
real
it truly
thing?
is that's like being birthed from like the soil and like grown and over. So that's a debate for another time. But I just think this is a very interesting take on, if you really care about sustainability, if you really care about minimizing the carbon footprint, this is what they're trying to do. And for this specific essence, I love that it's thick and goopy, and there's rice, there's niacinamide, there is panthenol, and it's
So now we've come to the point where we don't do the shots. It takes two.
do it for me. Oh yes.
I think especially for dry skin, we get a lot of questions. I just assume all of you guys have high-pitched voices for some reason. I have. So if you have dry skin and you have acne or you have breakouts, that to me is just, girls, guys, everyone, you just need to hydrate. Toning step is really important for my oily skin because it's probably the one step that can balance the most. You know, we were talking about like, it's the first step after cleansing, and it's like a baby who's looking for its mom. Like, what are you gonna feed it? Are you gonna feed it nutrients or are you gonna feed it nothing? Yeah, the mastication. That's like such a weird word. Mastication, but it just means when the mummy bird chews the food because the little baby birds can't chew it yet. Anyway, another nature documentary.
Oh yes.
Okay, so for oily skin, I feel like it's just as important as dry skin because it can really help to control the oils. It's probably the only step that can really balance. So I have two. There's the Sioris Falling into the Rose, you know, a garden on your face. This one compared to the original, then I Met You.
Time is running out.
Time is running out. Has a little bit less oils. We tested this one between us both, and it's just lighter weight. Yeah.
Significantly lighter.
So you
With
can
argan
use
oil and rose flower oil.
both of which are very fast absorbing. But this is a new line that I've tried from Paula's Choice. So, you know, we love the BHA line. There's also the pore refining line, as well as the boosters that we'll mention too. But I recently tried this and oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so this is the pore reducing toner with niacinamide. Okay, so first of all, it comes in a seriously like generous bottle and it's a lightweight toner, but when you look at the ingredients, it will blow your mind. It's got niacinamide as well as panthenol, the B family, 3 types of ceramides, which are skin buildings, and then it's got really hydrating, you know, talking about hydration once again, sodium PCA as well as sodium hyaluronate, and it's also got some soothing ingredients like chamomile. So all of this is working together to really just like subtly brighten your skin, and I realized over time, I was like, wow, this is really evening out and balancing my skin type, and it is designed for oily combination, right? I didn't even know it fits so well into the topic we were talking about today until like actually kind of going over it today. I'm just so excited about this. So what's next? Do you have serum?
I have one. Okay. Or it's a booster serum. This is, you've talked about this for years now. This is the first time I've actually been using this consistently. And my goodness, I love it.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think azelaic acid is one of those things that you hear about a lot,
Yeah.
but then it's not like a niacinamide or like a vitamin C. So I'm like, why do I need it in my life?
Yeah.
But now that I have it, it's like, where have you been all my life?
Because it's not marketed like in a cool way like other ones are.
But this is basically like niacinamide.
Yeah.
It does all the things that niacinamide does, and it is more of like on the gentler end of like the acids.
Yeah.
Because it's not even a real like chemical exfoliating acid. But it does many, many things like a chemical exfoliate like the AHA or the BHAs could do.
Yeah, it's also got a little bit of salicylic.
So I think this, for my pores,
It's really good.
pretty good.
Yeah. And isn't the texture interesting? It's like a cream gel.
It reminds me of the Omega Plus moisturizer in that it's a bit whipped, but then it's super lightweight.
When I was reading through reviews for all the products that we mentioned, and it's just interesting how it helps each skin type so differently.
Yes.
Like redness, I think redness came up, like rosacea.
Rosacea, yes.
Like funnily enough, right? Because the licorice root also really helps with that. Yeah.
And I would say for my skin type, something like this actually helps a lot more. Because I think the toning step is the hydration base. My skin just absorbs it, but something like a BHA, unless I use like a BHA toner or something like this that has a little bit of salicylic acid, I think this actually does a lot more for the long-term maintenance and the degunking of the pores.
Of the shiny nice.
And of the rough and bumpy little.
So I don't actually have serums because when it's hot, I just don't feel the need for it. So that's why
Moving on.
toning is so important. So I feel like for oily skin, you don't need the full range of products, right? If each step is already kind of doing enough for you, don't feel the need to just add one in just because
You
feel
like you need to.
Yeah, don't let society pressure you. Unless of course you want to. But sometimes there's like acne scarring that you just want to kind of fade away a little bit quicker, in which case the serums can really help with that, but right now I'm not using it, so we're moving on.
Go straight into gel because you have plenty, girl.
So yes, I feel like moisturizers for the summer to rebalance is very important because you don't want something that's too thick and then you end up shiny before you even step out the door. You don't want something that's too watery that feels like you didn't put anything on and it's just a waste of money.
Goldilocks.
Yeah, it's really finding that middle porridge. So I'm giving you 3. Peach and Lily Glass Skin Water Gel Moisturizer. This of the 3 is the most gel-like. And it's really good for, I feel like, those super humid days where, yeah, it's like a serum for you. It's just serum, right?
Wait, I haven't seen this.
Wait, do you use this?
No, as soon as I get a water gel anything, I'm just like, take it out of water.
Yeah. The underbite comes out and she's like, Just kidding.
Whoa!
You would definitely use this as a serum.
Yeah.
There's no way this would do anything for you.
Wow.
So this one has a pre and probiotic complex, which helps to build your skin barrier, which will then prevent breakouts. So this is very important for like oily skin people, especially in the summer, because it's very easy to break out. So it's helping shield you against environmental aggressors. It's also got kiwi extract as well as the peach, which are great antioxidants. And then there's 3 types of hyaluronic acid. So if you're looking for something that almost feels like nothing and it's really hot, maybe if you're in a humid place, it's like just a veil. It's like,
Sounds like an oily girl's dream and a dry girl's worst nightmare.
nightmare. It's like, what did I just spend all this money on? And then these two, okay, so I had to talk about these 3 because they're all very different. So
Like, Fel, take one out. It's too many. She's like, no, all of them. I'm like, okay.
Shan't for oily because it's too hard to find a moisturizer, I tell you. Okay, so let's go into the Paula's Choice because this is a little bit newer. I've talked about this one, but let's save this. This is the Invisible Finish Moisture Gel, and this has niacinamide as well as hyaluronic acid and bruh. This consistency, okay, so first up, it is like a moisturizing gel I have never used because upon contact, it feels quite silicone-y. It's not the most water-bursting ones, but it's packed with hydration when you put it on, but it's the after feeling that leaves your skin, oh my God, like skin-like but mattified. And it's blurring.
It's like a silk veil.
Yeah. If you've tried the Hourglass like veil before makeup, it's kind of like a makeup primer and moisturizer in one.
Not a fan. But
Yeah, definitely not for dry skin, but holy moly. If you guys are super oily in the summer, you need to like have 50 of those like oil blotting patches every day. This moisturizer is the answer to your problems. Okay, so now moving on. Love that. And then this is kind of like in the middle. This is your traditional cream where it kind of leaves, you know, that like, ooh, it's not matte, but it's not glowy.
Yes.
It just seals everything in. This one I find sometimes if you put too much of it, it's a little streaky when you work it in, but then you know you just like keep working it in and it absorbs really quickly, almost like you don't have anything at all. The Black Rice, it has the ultra deep technology, which then is able to sink into to the layers of your skin and give that hydration without feeling heavy. If you're combo oily, the last thing you want is a thick moisturizer that just seems to sit there forever. You know, when we switched moisturizer, it was like, is this thing ever gonna sink in? It was like stuck everywhere. My hair was like, it was like oily in the morning. It was all over the pillow. It was just meh.
It was like this.
Okay guys, this is what the skin looks like in the morning. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Half my skincare has gone onto my pillow or onto my face or onto my hand. Because I sleep like this.
Okay, yours.
So a new, I don't know, I'm talking like this. So the moisturizer that I've been using is the Pure AM, Pure Morning, Pure AM Authentic Barrier Cream Balm. This reminds me of a thicker version of the Deep Sea Water Cream.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's super lightweight, but still has like the, when you think of a barrier cream, you think of something that's a bit thicker, but it's still very breathable and just, you know, absorbs really quickly into your skin. This is their tagline. It's basically describing us. The purest beauty comes from within. Purest beauty is inside yourself.
Did you take our brand? I'm just kidding. Yes, that is very well aligned.
Yes.
Love it.
So in this specific balm, there's shea butter, there is yuzu fruit water, there's green tea extract, jojoba oil, and vitamin A, B, C, E. So this,
all of them?
Yeah.
Dang.
So when it comes to dry skin barrier, I think, is one of the most important things, because when you think of dry skin, it's because the top layers of your skin barrier is flaking off.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like me who grew up with eczema, it's just your skin's literally like flaking off. So to rebuild your skin barrier and to keep it healthy and happy and just like closed is very important, because this is what helps prevent transepidermal water loss. So something that is good for your skin barrier, So good.
So moving on to the most important part of retaining our youth, and probably the most important in general, like moisturizer and sunscreen together.
Yeah.
So we have the Paula's Choice Youth Extending Daily Hydrating Fluid, and
I have the Vichy Capital Sol, something that I think sun.
Soleil. Oh, it's like Cirque du Soleil.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's what it means, sun?
Yeah. Circus of the Sun?
Circus of the Sun. I never thought about what that means. Ding! My god. Okay, so we've talked about this. This is like holy grail of sunscreens. Just insert previous video editors of me talking about this so I can save my saliva.
Okay, fine. Previously.
Youth Extending Daily Fluid Hydrating. That's great.
Oh my god, the cars outside are like, yes, Val, yes, tell us more.
But this, oh my god, is the most lightweight.
Ooh.
Do you see how it just like runs off?
This one is very runny, it's very lightweight. When you put it on, it just almost feels like a super watery moisturizer.
It is freaking awesome. It makes your pores look minimized. It is lightweight to like, I don't know, there's no other sunscreen. You see how it just runs down? It's just so great. And like, you don't have to really think about it. You just apply it under your skin. It sits so nicely and it's not sticky.
Okay, we get it. You love it very much.
It's just, when they say fluid, it's really actually lightweight, fluid, protective, without feeling like you have anything on your skin. We talked with Chemist Confessions. Their takeaway tip was when applying, just apply a little bit more than you normally would to make sure that you have the actual.
Like if you think you're already putting on a lot,
Yeah.
put more.
Yeah. I started doing that after we talked to
Yeah.
them. I was like, okay, one layer. I don't think this is enough. So
Second
another
layer.
one. Yeah. So if you have, you know, medium to darker skin tones, I'm like, I can tan really easily. And so it gets really easy to not be able to use like more of a physical sunscreen because then it'll become purple on my skin. So if you're using a chemical sunscreen like this, it makes it even easier for you to layer on the sunscreen. And the fact that this is so fluid makes it even better. Yeah.
Moving on. So this one is a mineral sunscreen that reminds me a lot of La Roche-Posay's Anthelios.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like the La Roche-Posay one leaves a wider film and it's a bit more powdery.
This one I feel like is a little bit thicker than the
Which
Anthelios
I
fluid.
love.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, I love the La Roche-Posay Anthelios, the chemical sunscreen version. And this one, yeah, I think it's great. We went paintballing, like we said, over the weekend, and I slathered this on because it also is water resistant.
God, that just reminds me of like high school days, you know, like swimming carnivals, and you get out of the pool or whatever, and you're like, you're white and like streaky. Not cute.
Yeah, so in here there's also the 15 different mineral-rich Vichy volcanic water that it's made with, as well as antioxidants to really help boost the sunscreen's effectiveness.
And I actually do enjoy the smell of this one. It's like kind of, I don't know.
It's a little floral, fragrant.
Yeah, it's floral.
Yeah, but not overly so.
Okay, so basically that is our current kind of rebalancing of combo, keeping our skin intact and the freshest it can be in these hot, humid summer months because it has been so humid. And just keep in mind that like everything that we talk about is also personal to our experiences. We'd love to hear if you have any more questions about like your specific kind of situation. On the outward trajectory way out, what's something you thought of this week? Wait, what is today? I know.
Today's Tuesday. Okay, I will share something. As a very impulsive person for my whole life, it's easy to have an impulse and act upon it. It's hard to have an impulse, take a step back, and think about it. And then it's usually through the thinking process where growth happens. Because you ask yourself, why do you care about this thing? Or like, why is it calling you so much? And then through that, you will uncover a lot of layers or just, you know, things that you're driven by that you may not really know. When you see something like, oh my God, I want it. Or like, oh my God, there's this thing. It's usually because there's some allure to it. Yeah. But once you realize.
Halo effect even.
Yeah. But once you realize why, you're like, oh, well, I can live with or without it. I think it really helps demystify that impulse.
Where do you think impulsiveness comes from?
What do your nature docus tell you? about this.
Impulsiveness?
Yeah.
I don't think animals show impulsiveness the way that humans do. Why I love nature documentaries is because I realize animals are very simple and straightforward. They're kind of like in tune with the universe in a different way, whether it's through weather or they just do what they need to do for survival, right? Like if they need to mate, they mate. They do the things in order to mate. They're not impulsive. They just either flash some colors. If the other person's not into it, they're like, sick, I'll move on. So they're not like impulsive as humans, which is then what makes me think, what is it like, where do we learn, like, I want something now, or and like have this.
And I guess a question on top of that is whether it's like nature or nurture. It's like the marshmallow test for kids.
Oh, yeah.
That you
Exactly.
leave a kid in a room with marshmallow in front of them and then say you can either eat this right now or wait for 15 minutes and you can have two.
Yeah.
And you see what the kids do. And I think the study actually follows the kids over time, and
Yeah.
they found that people who had more willpower, who waited for the 2 marshmallows, were more successful in the future. Do not
something
quote
like
me on
that.
that, but
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, yeah, it's like at that age, is it like, I don't think you've gone through enough life experiences to be like, you just kind of do it or not.
Okay, you know one thing I was actually reading this morning? So forbearance to me is like, okay, you must take on pain almost, right? And then I read a synonym that came up of forbearance, and it was self-restraint. And I was like, wow, that just took what I thought forbearing, which is more of like a physical aspect, into the mental realm of like being able to restrain oneself. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of power actually.
Restraining from the marshmallow.
Yeah. So anyway, that's our food for thought, inspired by combination skin. Yeah. Tell us what you think about any of the things that we mentioned, and we want to thank Paula's Choice for being such great partners with us. We love working with them because they obviously have some of the greatest skincare products out there. And on that note, we will see you very soon in the next episode. Bye. Chowsies. Or as the animals say it, all right, peace. Yeah. The hummingbird.